Hello, welcome back. My name is Alyssa Pajoli, and I'm a life mindset and leadership coach. And today I want to talk about why you should stop apologizing. Compulsive apologizing is a self-defeating pattern of a behavior that is not only exhausting to you, but everyone in your world, your coworkers, your bosses, and your family members. And what's important to realize about compulsive apologizing is that it is an impulse behavior that is rooted from your childhood. As children, we are often taught to uphold the value of politeness. And so when we apologize or we use our manners, it is then interpreted as a sense of likability. That's what our psyche makes of that. And so we grow up with that patterning of, okay, apologizing is a defining behavior that you're polite and that it will result in likability. And so in the adult world, apologizing excessively can result in, or it's a end result of genuine desire to demonstrate respect. And so in the corporate world or just interacting with adults, we often like, oh, I'm sorry, because we want to then come across as respectful. And the problem with this is that when we are holding others' opinions or reactions in a higher regard to our own opinions or interpretations of a situation, our well-attempted attempts at being respectful or proving why we should be likable only result in sabotaging ourselves. And the sabotage is a huge patterning and behavioring that diminishes your self-worth, how you show up, and how you can relate. And in today's society, the way that we're becoming more mobile and disconnected from interacting, another reason why we compulsively apologize is to adversify or avoid conflict. And it's simply because clear communication is not a well patterned way of communicating these days. And so this is important to understand because it can really corrode your self-image of yourself. When you're constantly apologizing for things that you're not even necessarily sure or responsible for being in charge of and being supposed to be apologizing for, it can be confusing for your self-image, your self-identity, and your confidence. And so if you want, pause the video, grab a piece of paper and a pencil, because I want you to write down the 5 ways in which over-apologizing hurts you. And so the first one is insecurity and self-doubt. When you are constantly apologizing, it makes you create a sense of lack of confidence. It not only exposes it of who you're being, but you start to believe and diminish any sense of confidence that you have. So stop doing it for that reason, right? The second one is your insincerity. When you're constantly apologizing or you're bloating your speech, it detracts the clarity of your message. So then anything that you are saying, I don't know if I should trust you. I don't know if it's coming from a sincere place because it's kind of wishy-washy. The third reason or way it hurts you is powerlessness. So you overcompensate who you're being to fit in. And oftentimes, especially women in senior management or leadership roles, a big misunderstanding is that if they are being very forefront and straightforward, they can be seen as too aggressive. And so they will overcompensate themselves to be seeming not so harsh or brash, to be more likable, be more respectful, and in a sense, they become powerless. The fourth is depending on external validation. When you're constantly over apologizing, it means that you are going to be coming from a state of seeking reassurance because you're not clear, you're not certain. You don't need that. Seeking external validation or reassurance from others will only ever leave you in a space of scarcity, coming from a space of scarcity and uncertainty, which then feeds into the lack of confidence, which then leads into the lack of self-worth, self-image. Like, it's a shitstorm, people, right? The fifth thing is compromising personal and professional values. When you over apologize, you are coming from a space of not respecting your personal mission. Leadership requires a backbone, and apologizing diminishes that clear sense of personal mission and that confidence that exudes from the clear communication of certainty, sincerity, and respect. So how do we stop this? How can you start to cultivate and create a world in which you don't have to be apologizing all the time? First, we want to reflect on your childhood, because your childhood is contributing that behavior. So the first space is like, inquire the initial reaction on when you're told no. When you hear the word no, what is your interpretation of that? What is your interpretation of sharing your voice? Is it comfortable? Are you timid? Are you shy? As well as looking back to what experiences shaped your outlook of asserting yourself. When you were a child and you spoke up, were you scolded? When you were super passionate and excited about something and you shared, did your family or your parents react in the way you wanted, in the same sense of excitement and compassion? What went on as a child that cultivated your interpretation of what and how you assert yourself as an adult? The second thing in this process is examine the triggers, mood, or patterns of the sorry impulse. Is there a time of day where you really just get fed up and you start apologizing in your emails or your communication or your meetings? Is it a certain type of person, a certain group of people at work? Are there certain settings in which the I'm sorry impulse kind of is heightened? And then the third thing is replace unwarranted apologies with accurate statements to communicate your point. An example of this is, say your manager or your boss reaches out to you about the final product of a project that you were supposed to be having done by the end of the week. But say that your parent or your child had to go to the hospital and you don't have that project done. And so instead of saying like, hi there, I'm so sorry that I have to notify you that it's the project is not complete. I'll try to get it done by the end of the weekend. Be assertive, be real. The status of this project is not complete due to me having to be at the hospital or, tend to family emergencies, or as an understanding that my week has been a little derailed because I've been at the hospital with my family. I've not gotten a chance to complete it, but I can reassure you or rest assured it will be completed by X date. There doesn't have to be an apology in any of that communication. So even just start seeing, like, when you text, when you email, what is your impulse of feeling? Another light example is, say you're meeting your girlfriends or your guy friends for a happy hour and you show up 3 minutes late. Oh, sorry, I'm late. Are you or are you not? If traffic was bad, state that. Traffic was terrible. Whoops. I'm happy to be here. Sorry that I'm late. And you can apologize for being late because that's the type of person you are. But don't go into it saying that, because then it subconsciously identifies you as doing something wrong. And now don't think that there's never a correct time and place to apologize. I'm just making this video because I want you to start becoming aware of how your over apologizing impulse is impacting your confidence, self-worth, self-image, and your ability to connect in a more sincere, clear, purposeful way with others. Let me know what you think.